Hello, everyone. Welcome to my third stream. Today, we're joined by Dude, founder of Helios and founder of the new project Element 280 that's going to be launching very soon. Dude, how are you today?
Excellent. I am so bullish on this ecosystem.
Same. And the more you look into it, like, I don't want to get too bullish though, because I do feel like
Yeah.
you don't want to FOMO into anything, but it's hard not to, definitely.
Yeah. It really, when I keep taking steps back, and then I keep looking more into it, and I get more bullish, and then I have to keep taking steps back.
Yeah.
And I'm well aware. Like, it's the Titan X hub, like looking at the stats on that, looking at the supply of Titan X itself and watching it just falling off a cliff. Like,
Yeah.
how can you not get bullish about this? Like,
I think we're having trillions off market every day. I think I watched the stream with Jake and Crypto Kindness just before this today, and Jake was saying, yeah, there's like $1 trillion days where with deflation happening every single day right now, and there's still supply coming out. It's going to be super
crazy.
exciting. I know.
Yeah,
it's going to be so exciting, isn't it? In the future, what are your thoughts about like Titan X right now and for the future, like then for the next few months?
It's like I said. I mean, without just being too bullish, like that's really all I can say is, like, I'm so hyped with all this. Like, thinking about how many projects that are coming out in the near future, and how many trillions that they're pulling in, and how successful each one of these projects have been. We're gonna run out so fast. Like, I mean, obviously we'll never actually run out. It's, that's kind of a meme. It's really just the price will just skyrocket is what it, supply and demand. That's what happens when supply runs out and demand keeps going up. That's simple economics right there.
And it's like, we're going to need the Titan X for these projects. It's not like you want to have more Titan X. You're going to need it if you want to participate in any project. So yeah, it's going to be really exciting. I think there'll be a point where there's just that supply shock, and it just sends, and everything's leveraged on top of it. It sends everything up. So I think launching Element 280 now is perfect. Literally just before.
Yeah, I completely agree with just all the milestones that are coming up. Like, the whole ecosystem is just ready to just explode. And I think Element 280 being like a layer 2, layer 3 play on, or even a layer 4 play on all of these ecosystem tokens, it's like, I can't wait. I can't wait to check the stats on these. And
yeah, definitely.
It won't be a single chart to watch. There'll be like 14 charts to watch.
Yeah, it is. It took me a while to get my head around Element 280 because there's a lot of moving parts going on. Do you just want to give a quick elevator pitch of kind of to simplify it as best you can for people that maybe don't understand it?
Sure. It's the Titan X easy button. That's all you really have to say at a base level. But like, going into it a little bit more deep, it's a token and an NFT collection. And they're aimed to be that one-stop shop for Titan X users or new people. People that are new to the ecosystem, they can easily get overwhelmed with what's going on. They're just learning about Titan X, and then they go to Titan X Hub and they see 20 projects, and they're like, oh my gosh, like, what do I do with all this? Like, I don't have time to read 20 white papers. I don't have time to manage all of these different projects. So this is your opportunity to just be that one-stop shop where just holding the token gives you, basically, it's like having a piece of the entire ecosystem. And then the NFT is that backed by that token that earns you additional tokens.
Definitely. And that's what's really, really interesting, I think, is because it is going to be cap supply after 28 days, right?
Yeah. So the token and the
NFTs. And if you own an NFT at any point, you can cash it out for tokens, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's backed by the token. So you can just cash out if let's say the token price is really high, you can cash out, get that off, but then there's less NFTs in the rewards pool, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is really, really exciting, because that's a whole, you're kind of competing with all the NFT holders. Because if the
Yeah.
price goes up a lot, then maybe they all sell, or a large majority sell their NFTs and for tokens. And then everyone left, because they also get a fee when they sell those NFTs, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Which goes back to the loyal NFTs holders, which will now have a larger share in that rewards pool, which I think is so interesting. So what do you think? What do you think is going to play out? What do you see? Do you think there's going to be more people that are just long-term holders forever, or
I,
do you think it's going to slowly taper off over time?
Oh, there's think about all those people that are like, yeah, I'm diamond handing for old forever, I'm never selling.
Yeah,
But think about it, say you put 10 grand into the legendary NFT, which uh, that's insane in itself, how the price of Titan X has just been skyrocketing. But say you put 10 grand in, you get a legendary, and then 2 years later it's worth $250,000. You don't think people are going to be clicking that burn button and
yeah,
cashing in on
yeah,
that? Like
exactly. But
there's
like the urge to do that is going to be a lot. But then it's also like you're going to miss out then from this rewards pool.
Yeah,
So I think this idea is really, really cool,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
think it makes
I
a lot of
think
sense.
there's
Sorry, go on.
definitely going to be short-term players and long-term players in every
Yeah,
project. And I think a lot of what we designed into this project was to cater to both sides. I feel like there's positives. Both sides of the field will be able to participate and possibly do well.
yeah, definitely. So when it comes to the actual streams of income for the buy and burn, and just a value proposition for holders, what can you kind of say? In my understanding, there's two. There's the tax, buy and burn tax, and then there's also the massive LP web that is going to be connected to all tokens. Do you want to just quickly run through the value
Uh,
proposition for
yeah, as far as like, are you saying for like the NFT holders or the token itself?
NFT? We could do NFT first. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, yeah. So the NFT holders, they're earning from every buy and sell. Um,
Okay.
and with having a liquidity web, you're inviting arbitrage bots. As you know, the price of these ecosystem tokens go up and down in value. That's going to push up and down the E280 token.
Yeah.
And then when that happens, there's going to be discrepancy in price between these LPs. Arbitrage bots are going to come in, buy up the cheap tokens on one LP, and then sell them on another LP for more and take some profit. They're
Okay.
not going to care what the element token is. They don't care what the project is. They're literally buying the token and selling it all in one transaction. And they're doing that with like very small ROIs, like 1% ROI.
Yeah.
But when they do that, they're paying that tax, and they don't care because
Um,
they're making money,
yeah.
and they don't care about the token because they're buying and selling it immediately. But for the NFT holders, they're getting that tax revenue,
I
and
see.
so
Okay. Yeah. So it's going to be benefiting from the bots taking advantage of the arbitrage between all the different LPs, basically.
yes,
Okay. That's
yes.
coul. Yeah.
Eh,
And do you think that means that the token price is kind of going to be an average for the entire ecosystem?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because
But
it
like
is
with a
quite
slight
complicated.
edge, it'll have that slight
Yeah.
edge because every transaction you're burning tokens and you're sending tokens to NFT holders. So it'll be deflationary. So it's, I think it'll give you that slight edge as far as like, it'll be just a little bit more than the average, I think.
Okay. Yeah. And how aggressive do you see the buy and burn, so the tax from buying and selling being? Because is it 16% through the mint phase, and then does it taper off after?
It's yeah, 16% during the mint phase,
Okay.
and then 4% when there's no minting.
Okay.
And that's a big reason for having that 16% during mint phase is um, to tax those short-term players. You know, like with any buy and burn that I've seen on any of these projects, you've got people that are minting tokens and selling into that buying burn.
Yeah.
And they're taking those short-term gains and they're either just putting that in their pocket and leaving, or they're compounding their position and minting more tokens and continuously selling into the buy and burn. So this is going to be no different. There's going to be users that are going to do that. The difference here is 16% tax, of which 12.8% is going to NFT holders. So as those short-term players are minting and selling and doing this cycle, a big portion of their ROI is going to the NFT holders, where all you have to do is just sit there and hold. No staking, no lockup, nothing like that.
Which I think is really cool because it's gonna reward long-term believers, basically, right? Long-term holders of the NFTs are going to be the ones that benefit the most. And I think for me, it's difficult to imagine what's going to happen. But if it gets carried at the average of where Titan X is going, which I think everyone thinks is, like we said at the beginning of the stream, bullish. If it's going to be the kind of average price movement of Titan X with people selling, buying, and the bots, like you said, doing it constantly, then the NFT holders, you're just going to be benefited through the growth of Titan X from just holding a simple NFT, which I think is a really cool concept that I think it makes sense just to mint one, just to have it in your back pocket.
Right. And it's not just Titan X, it's all the ecosystem tokens as well. You know, what makes me bullish on E280 is like we saw with Baby Dragon X. It was a very small market cap token, not a whole lot going on there. And then just Titan X pumped, Dragon X pumped, Baby Dragon X like absorbed all of that and like massive leverage play and just went to the moon. And now it went from like, 50K, 100K in liquidity to over 1 million in liquidity. Like, without having to do a whole lot of anything, and so Element 280 is going to be on top of all these projects. And anytime any of these projects explode like that, Element 280 that LP is going to explode with it. And that increased liquidity will come with it as well. Like we've seen webs of liquidities. We've seen these types of tokens before that invite arbitrage bots, but we haven't seen this done on the bonded liquidity pairs that we have with Titan X. Generally every LP is just with a different token. And that's, in this case, every LP is with a Titan X ecosystem token. So if Titan X pumps, all of the ecosystem tokens pump with it. And then all of the pairs of E280 will pump with it. And then if you have individual ones, those will pump individual pairs. Like leverage on leverage. Like we'll see what happens.
I think do you have kind of a thought? Because to me, it sounds quite unpredictable. Because like you said, if there is a Baby Dragon example that goes off, what do you think will happen? Do you think it will, because surely the bots will then take advantage of the arbitrage between, so it will come back down, but it will lift all the other pairs with it. Okay. Is that kind of what you think?
Absolutely. Yeah. And in the process, it's just going to generate volume across every LP, and volume is king. Like that's the amount of trading volume that equals the amount like the more volume, the more tax that's getting paid, the more the NFT holders are getting rewarded. So every time there's a pump on any of the single ecosystem tokens, it's going to create volume across every LP to equalize that, and paying tax all the way across.
All the way across, yeah. That's super interesting. So with the launch of Element 280, what is going to be the starting circulating supply for tokens? And is the only way for more tokens to come out is through people selling their NFTs?
Yeah, so the starting supply, we're doing a one-time mint of 180 billion. The first 180 billion that we get in Titan X, we're going to match that one for one with the element tokens, so
Okay.
that we create our initial LPs, and that'll be split across all 14 LPs.
And
And
is
then
that going to be manually done to form the LPs?
sort of, it's done through the smart contract, but manually done by me. So I will be
Okay.
like, there's no rug opportunity here. Like the Titan X that goes into that smart contract can only do one thing. I'm basically just clicking the button that says, create this LP, create this LP. And
Yeah.
I'm doing that manually one by one, but it's not like I just have my own personal wallet and I'm just doing whatever. Like it's
Yeah.
like there's smart contract functions that are, that are used to create these LPs.
Okay. And that's going to be done soon as the 200 billion Titan X comes into the system.
Yes, yeah, which
Yes.
I
Okay.
anticipate within a few hours. Like,
Yeah.
so,
Okay. I think
so
definitely
yeah,
with how launches are going at the moment, I would expect that within the first few hours, few minutes, who knows? But yeah,
right, right, yeah, and it'll probably take a few hours to create these LPs, just because we're literally buying all of these ecosystem tokens off the market. Like
yeah.
100% of what comes into this protocol, 100% of that Titan X is going to buying ecosystem tokens. So
Okay. And will it be so? Is it gradually? You're just going to market buy gradually for each
it's
token?
yeah, it's in the contract. It's built in to where it automatically it takes whatever that allocation of Titan X to each protocol is. So say a protocol is getting a 10% allocation. So out of that 180 billion that came in, it's going to take 18 billion and go towards that protocol. And then it
Okay.
splits it into 5 equal purchases automatically. So when I'm using the contract and I say, okay, buy Helios, it's going to say, okay, it's got this allocation, this much Titan X is here. So divide that by 5. That's the purchase amount. And then it stores it in the contract. And then
Okay.
once I make all 5 purchases, it'll see that and go, okay, purchases are complete. The LP gets created and then it's on standby. Trading will not start until the last LP is created. So we're going to build all 14 LPs. And then once all of those are created, then we will click the start trading button. And
Start
then,
trading.
yeah. And
And then you see what happens. Yeah.
yeah. So
Okay.
it's not like one by one. Like this is literally going to be 14 LPs all at the same time launching.
Yeah.
Which I'm very curious to see how that looks.
As
Like
am I. Yeah.
how do sniper bots respond to a play like that? Like
Yeah.
uh, I don't know. And do we care if sniper bots come up because they're going to be paying a 16% buy, a 16% sell? Like, do we even care? Because if
Yeah.
you're minting these tokens or you're minting these NFTs, there's no tax on that. You're getting that one for one tax free mint.
Yeah.
It's just market buys and sells that are experiencing that tax. So yeah,
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting,
yeah.
to say the least. And
Like
then
with
it. Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say, like with Giannis, so I have Giannis on Pulse Chain, and so I have
Yeah.
experience with the liquidity web. And with Giannis, I just launched with just one pair, and then I slowly added more and more pairs as we go. And
Yeah.
every pair I add, the second I add an LP, bots are buying and selling it to equalize that price exactly across all the pairs, like within
Really.
seconds. Like I create it,
Wow.
and then they're buying it up or they're selling it down to get it to where it should be.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, these bots are very sophisticated,
Yeah.
and I don't see how Ethereum would be any different.
Yeah.
Obviously there's
Definitely.
a little bit more gas fees. It's easier on Pulse Chain because the fees are really cheap, but if the price discrepancy is there, and there is money to be made, you better believe someone's taking it. And they're
Definitely. Yeah.
taking it at an extremely low ROI, because if they don't, somebody else will. The competition and arbitrage game is very tight. Like, it's almost impossible to get in that game because so many people are in it. It's
Super
essentially free
competitive.
money. Yeah,
Yeah.
very competitive.
And they're so advanced, aren't they? I was actually speaking to Mike Dean about this. He says if there's any like chance to make even a small percentage, there are going to be bots there. And
Yeah.
Ethereum, he was saying, is very, very popular as well. So I assume, hopefully, because this is going to benefit NFT holders at the end of the day. And that's going to be interesting, yeah. As well as that, because so this is the V1. Are you calling it the V1, this web? And then is there going to be another web that comes in the future?
Yeah, so we're calling it the V1 buy and burn because
Okay.
it's fed from minting. But
Yeah.
obviously at the end of 28 days, minting is over, and the V1 buy and burn will stop getting Titan going to it. Unless, it's able to receive ETH or Titan. If anybody wants to send it into there, we will distribute it across everybody.
Yeah.
But the main thing that most people are asking is like, well, what about new projects? What about stuff that's coming out in the future?
Yeah.
And we can't mint additional tokens after the fact. There's no way, there's no way for us as a protocol to add more LPs. So
Okay.
the solution to that is creating a V2 buy and burn. And that'll be fed Titan from other areas. And that V2 buy and burn will include new projects.
Okay.
And so we can, and then, 6 months later, there can be a V3 buy and burn and a V4. Like, we
Yeah.
can just continuously update the buy and burn to include new projects and always have liquidity running into all the pairs that we want.
Where is the Titan X going to come from for the V2? Is it a small
Uh,
percentage from buying
I
contracts?
That's top secret.
Top secret. Okay, okay. But there are plans
uh,
in the future for further
Already
development.
in development. Already in
Okay,
development.
okay. Built on
Yeah,
top of Element 280? Is this going to be like a stack in or? Yes.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, yeah. Wow. That would be really, really cool. Because then,
Yeah.
yeah, the core, let's say these are all the core projects at the moment, that all lifts Element 280. If you build something on top and spread the web as well, that's going to push up everything else. This is a very, very interesting idea. How long have what kind of made you come up with this idea, and how long have you been working on it? Because it sounds really complex, like all the moving parts.
Yeah, I had a community member come to me with the idea originally.
Okay.
And originally we were gonna just manage this by the Helios DAO. And
Okay.
that's kind of where it fell apart, is like, I was like, man, this is turning into like us managing a fund for other people. Like, it's getting really dicey as far as legality goes. And that's where I was like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not getting involved. I'm not doing this.
Okay.
And then it just basically got shelved, and then came back later, and we were like, let's just do this in a smart contract where nobody's managing any of these funds. You just launch it, set it, and forget it type of situation.
Yeah.
And let the market manage it. Like, it's up to these individual projects and their tokens to, they're the ones that are going to be supporting Element 280. Like, we're just paired with them, and
Yeah.
we're letting them do the work. And
The
then and
easy
then the
button.
solution, yeah. Yeah, and then the solution to just create V2, V3 buy and burns to include new projects. Like, we can just fork V1, add, the new projects, launch it with ease,
Yeah.
like. And so being able to eliminate like the DAO managing anything, that's when I was like, yes, let's make this happen. This is,
Yes. Yeah. Decentralized is always the best, isn't it? The best way. But
right.
Helios is still going to benefit from Element 280, right? It still
Yeah,
has
absolutely.
percentage. Yeah. Do you want to walk through how it's going to be supporting Helios?
Yeah, sure. It's through the buy and burn, and we designed it this way for two reasons. We wanted 100% of this Titan X going into buying these ecosystem tokens.
Okay.
Now there is a Titan X LP with Element 280 as well, so technically it's not actually 100, because there's going to be an allocation to Titan X, and we're, the Titan X doesn't have to buy the Titan X; it's already there. But anyways, we're the way the buy and burn is working is it's taking Titan X, buying that ecosystem token. And then from there, that's where we take the Genesis allocation, the Helios treasury allocation. We're taking that in the ecosystem token. Okay. So that 100% of that Titan X that's going through that pool is creating buy pressure on these tokens. And then secondly, that allows the Helios treasury to acquire not just a bunch of Titan X, but all of the ecosystem tokens, which, and that's up to the community how we decide how to utilize those to support HLX.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's very interesting then. So there's going to be like a whole balance of all these projects getting built up in Helios over time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what Helios is. That's the vision of Helios from the very beginning, is to have not just one or two, but dozens of treasuries that are all just earning Titan X, earning ETH, that all go towards our stakers, the buy and burn. Like, this is perpetual. Like, regardless of interaction or user participation in Helios, like right now we have, it's been fluctuating a lot, but it's around $800,000 or $900,000 in Titan X that we have staked, where we're coming up on $1 trillion. And that Titan X is locked there forever. Like, it's forever earning ETH, and that ETH is going towards our buy and burn and to our stakers. Yeah. So, and that's just our first treasury. I envision having, like I said, dozens of these treasuries in the long run, and every one of these treasuries will be self-sufficient, where there's no user participation required. Like, it'll just continuously earn value and bring that to the HLX ecosystem.
And is it all going towards Helios stakers then? All these different treasuries? Or is it undecided, like you said, decides what the community wants to do? It's
undecided. Like right now, like the Titan X treasury that we have, 70% is going to the buy and burn. Like we wanted to support that first and foremost, because obviously the buy and burn helps. That helps with the token price, and like the token price is what keeps your miner ROI, and people mining is what fills the staking pools. Like you have this loop. Yeah. But moving forward, I think it's going to be more. I'd like to see it more 50-50, where half of it's going straight to stakers and the other half is going to the buy and burn. Okay. I think now that we're like over 200 days in, both sides of those I feel like are equally important and supporting.
Yeah. And what's Helios's payout for the 369 looking like at the moment? Do you know?
It's about 180K.
180K. Wow. Okay. And when, I think it is when, it's not if, it's when mining for Titan X becomes profitable again. Like you said, that's just going to be more ETH coming in constantly, which is going to be very, very interesting. What's the market cap for Helios at the moment? Is it just below $1 million?
Last I checked, it was smaller than our treasury, and that's what made me laugh.
Yeah.
Like we have more funds in our treasury than the token is worth, which, the market does what it wants to do. Yeah.
So it's just below 700K now for the market cap. And you said there's 180K coming out for the 369, and 70% of that is going to the buy and burn.
Yep.
So do you think Helios is undervalued?
I don't want to get too much into like price chat, but I mean,
I'll speak for you. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not financial advice. Do your own research, and if you look at, the stats, just like go to our treasury page, and see that we have $817,000 in Titan X stakes. Like you make that decision, and then
And that's
add
growing as
on to
well,
the
right?
do what?
That's growing as well because more projects
Oh,
are sending Titan X in. Yeah.
yes, huge shout out to Flux. They've been sending a bunch of Titan X to us. Pulsar is joining that group. Aviator X. Several other projects are doing that,
Yeah.
and then obviously Element 280 will be doing that as well. So
Yeah, which is awesome because also if a project launches, maybe that Jake launches, which people can sacrifice their stakes for, Helios is going to have a much bigger percentage of the total payouts, which is going to be super beneficial.
oh yeah,
It's going to
oh
be
yeah,
very interesting.
yep. And then add on top of that all of the ecosystem tokens we're going to be getting.
Yeah,
It's like, some of it, I say this pretty often, like the Blaze tokens that we get. I think that's a pretty easy strategy. We just take the Blaze and we stake them. And now we're earning more ETH from a separate treasury that's just
true. Yeah.
always working for us.
So
Like,
how's it going to work with Element 280? All these projects are going to come in. Are they just going to sit in like a balance, and then you're going to have kind of community votes where everyone can decide what to do?
yeah, we've got a DAO wallet
Okay.
that's controlled by. We've currently got 4 people on the DAO. We're looking to add a 5th person very soon.
Okay.
So it's a multi-sig wallet. It's not just sitting in my personal wallet. Like, it has to
Yeah.
be signed off by 4 out of the 6 signatures. So
Okay. Yes, that's good. Yeah.
yeah.
So everyone
Um,
agree for the benefit of Helios, basically.
right, right. And then,
Yeah.
like, say we vote to stake or blaze, like, right, and we go to vote, and your voting power depends on how much liquid HLX you're holding, your
Yes.
stakes, your miners, all of that counts towards your voting power. So everybody in the ecosystem has a say, no matter where you're playing, because there's people that are big in mining, or there's people big in staking, or there's people that just want to hold. Like, all of that matters. And
Yeah.
say they all agree, yeah, let's stake or blaze, let's do that. Then we can create a smart contract that, stakes blaze forever, never unlocks. And then the ETH payouts we get goes 50% to our buy and burn, 50% to our stakers. And then at that point, it's all automated, and
Yeah.
it's out of our hands, out of the DAO wallet. It's just sitting in a smart contract.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
and then bam, there you go. Another treasury, just set and forget, and then move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Like,
It's gonna be that. I really like that idea because it's just the whole ecosystem. It's kind of like, did you use this as a like when you launched Helios as like the S&P 500 of Titan X, or did I hear that from somewhere else?
I mean,
Might
that's
be-
what Element 280 is. What people are
Yeah.
calling Element 280.
Okay. S&P. Yeah,
Like,
because it's
there
like
was,
shares of everything.
yeah, and I mean, that some of that was in the vision of Helios, because, like, we don't even we don't want to stop at just Titan X ecosystem. Like, we want treasuries outside of the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Imagine if we were earning Ethereum off of, like, Aave, or whatever outside protocol. That
Mm.
ETH we would be earning outside the ecosystem would be coming in, and the way it's all designed, all that ETH has to buy Titan X. We're pumping the whole ecosystem,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then with that Titan X, we buy HLX and burn it. Like, that's my vision. Not just the Titan X ecosystem, but just all over. Especially
Everywhere.
when we go, yeah, and when we go, like, omni chain, like, it's going to be even easier to create all of these ideas and concepts.
Yeah. I think that's going to get a lot more complex though, right? For people to get their heads around all the different.
Yeah, I mean, we try to make it easy. Like, we're updating the UI all the time to try to showcase, our treasuries and what they're doing, and make it easier for the user to see.
Yeah.
It's always a work in progress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a team behind you, or are you doing all the coding and all the dev work yourself?
No, so I understand code and I work with the developers intimately
Okay.
with like I read all the code and I understand it and help direct the direction that it should be going, but I'm
Yeah.
not actually writing any of it.
Okay.
So we do have developers. I have one for Helios. I have Element 280. It was a different developer because I didn't want to slow down what I'm building on. Basically, I'm expanding here. There's so
Yeah.
much to be done. I can't get it all done with one person, so we're expanding our team. And then we have a marketing person as well.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just going to expand hopefully over time as
Right.
everything grows and all the projects get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting, very exciting. What are your thoughts for the future? Where do you see Element 280 or any other projects that you're launching Helios in the future?
I think like with Helios, I think we've solidified a spot in the ecosystem.
Definitely.
Like when, like who else is gonna pull in $1 trillion? Like think about 6 months down the road, how hard $1 trillion Titan X is gonna be to get. Like
Yeah,
we've
definitely.
got that forever locked in our treasury. I
Yeah.
think that alone has just solidified us as a player in the game. And
To
then
always
just
have, a chunk of the rewards.
yeah, yeah. And then just adding every project that I develop is there to support Helios, just like Element 280 is sending ecosystem tokens to it. Um, Everything I do is coming back to it. So
Yeah.
as the founder, I see what I'm doing and I know what I'm doing and I'm sitting comfy, like it's up to the user to make those decisions if, how well we're going to do or not. But to me, we are forever on the top of the list of Titan X Hub. Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah,
Are there future plans to build directly on top of Helios then, or at the moment is it okay? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
nice. How
So
far?
yeah, like adding treasuries is great, but I'm realizing that there needs to be more usage for the HLX token itself.
Yeah,
So absolutely, there's several ideas that are in the works.
can you
Yeah.
disclose anything yet, or is it still
I,
very top secret?
with E280 like right around the corner, I'm really trying to just
Yeah,
concentrate on that.
yeah,
Like let's
definitely.
not get ahead of ourselves. Like
For sure.
I'll
Yeah.
say like there's way more coming, way more.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
um just it's a nonstop flow of ideas and creation. But as far as the users go, like I'm trying to just not get ahead of myself. Like
Yeah.
let's concentrate on what's in our face, and that's Element 280. And I've been getting overwhelmingly positive reviews on every stream I go on. Like I'm
Yeah.
feeling really good about this project, so I just want to really concentrate on it. And
Yeah.
then after launch, after minting's done, it's just out there. It's doing its thing. And then all I have to worry about is V2 buying burns, and then I can get back to what's important again, the root of building out the Helios ecosystem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you are definitely one of the hardest workers that I've, in my opinion, founder wise, because you've just been working away, working away. And like you say, you've got all these ideas and they're all going to be coming. But yeah, I really, I look up to the way that you've just stuck at it and you've continued and really, really like innovation is coming, especially with E280. I think it's definitely exciting. Very exciting to see.
Yes, thank you. Helios has seen since launch, we've seen like 6 months of bear market of Titan X.
Yeah.
So like I'm very excited to see Titan X starting to turn around and the bonded liquidity play with Helios. I'm really excited to watch,
Yeah.
whole ecosystem turn around, really.
Especially because there will be a point where Helios kind of follows suit to Titan X, right? it will
Yeah,
kind of follow a similar path. Yeah.
it's the bonded liquidity. Like there's no way around it.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is really, really
Yeah.
cool. Someone has asked, is Alien X going to be in V1? But I don't think Alien X is going to be out in
No,
time. No.
no, no.
Maybe in the V2, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll have to. I don't know how we're going to go about deciding. To me, like the more LPs, the better. So
Yeah.
there's strong reason to just include everything, but I mean, we don't. If there's questionable projects, like even if a project's going down in value, it's still creating volume, and that's still
Yeah.
paying the LP holders. But ultimately, we do want the token to do well. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say again, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Like
Yeah.
we're looking at the V1 buy and burn.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely. So for the V1, has this been decided yet, percentage wise? Because this will be.
we've gone back and forth, and I think we have finally gotten there. We
Okay.
still haven't published it, obviously,
Yeah.
which should be happening soon. I will say that no doubt the number one allocation is Dragon X. They are the highest market cap. They are one of the blue chips.
Yeah.
And then some of the newer projects they get down there towards the bottom of the allocations, but we are including everybody.
Okay. So everyone on this list will be included.
Not Ouroboros. They're not launching
Okay.
in time.
Oh yeah, not in time. Okay, but everyone else.
I believe so. There might be one missing. No, Awesome X is there. Titan Farms is confirmed to be included.
Okay.
So
wow, yeah. So that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah. The other question is Pulsar. They've launched, but they're paused. They're minting. So we're kind of waiting and seeing about what's going on with them. We still have the plans to include them, but it's still not for sure. And that's again, like I didn't want to sit here and post allocation percentages and then have to update it and update it and update it. So definitely. I was like, we're just going to leave it till a last minute thing.
Yeah. And especially with all the uncertainty with projects launching like Awesome X and farms and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, Awesome X is launching the day before. So
yeah,
we have to verify that that's a successful launch, which we're expecting that,
yeah. But that's going to be interesting as well, isn't it? Because because I think launches for all the projects are the most volatile. But let's say Awesome X has a good launch. Obviously, that's going to benefit Element 280 as well. So
yeah. We're creating an LP with them on day 2 of their project. Like it's going to be very, very interesting. Yeah.
But probably a smaller allocation, right? Because
it
carries a lot more. Yeah.
Right, because there's going to be a lot of volatility because they're a brand new project for sure.
Yeah.
And then like as V2 comes around and we can kind of take another look at these projects, how well have some done, how well we can kind of see where they've gone and increase and lower their allocations when the time comes. And again, we won't know until we're ready to launch a V2 buy and burn before we make any of these decisions. So
yeah,
I'm not even considering any of it.
Okay. Yeah. And when it comes to the audits, have they been? What's the situation with the audits?
They're complete. They're complete. When we launch we will launch. We'll post all the contract addresses. We'll post all the audits. We'll do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Before we go live with minting, so you can see all that.
But no major problems that have come up or anything.
No.
Okay, that's really good. Yeah.
All of it was very simple to fix. I mean, they did find issues, and it was all. Most of it was just informational, very low risk items. I feel very confident. I'm very happy with the dev that we have for this. Both auditors that we had, came to me to the side to say, hey, we really like your dev. You did a great job. The code looks amazing. They were complimenting me about the dev work. on, to the side. So that's where I
Yeah.
was like, awesome. It really sat well with me. And I feel really good about what it is. So
Yeah. That must be a good feeling as a founder to not
yeah.
have any kind of worry about what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's definitely part of the team now. Like he's going on to build additional stuff for Helios and Element 280. Like,
Nice.
yeah, very happy with him.
Yeah.
So,
That's good then, especially if he's kind of proved himself in this. Someone said, "Now I want more Helios and also need to mint NFTs." I think everyone's getting that feeling, especially with. I think Element 280 is so exciting because it's like we've never seen it before. It's very hard to predict what's going to happen, but if you're bullish on all of Titan X, it kind of makes sense to just have it because if it does do well, then people are going to sell their NFTs, and then you're going to have a bigger share of the rewards pools and stuff. So I think either way, it's just a good plan if you're bullish on Titan X.
yes, which I am, and I am
Yeah,
excited to mint an NFT myself for sure.
yeah,
It's really a set and forget type of situation. You mint it, and just once a week you can come in and claim some rewards. A
yeah,
deflationary token that's built on top of these great projects. Like Dragon X has done great, Volt has done great, like Titan X itself is doing great, which is lifting everybody. Like I can't say enough that like every single one of these projects has done a great job,
yeah,
and they're all fulfilling their role in the ecosystem, and we're not slowing down. Like there's so much more. Like Ouroboros coming out is going to create so much more utility for our ecosystem. People are going to be able to leverage their positions and not have
yeah,
to, and they're going to be able to do it in house. Like they're going to be able to do it through Ouroboros, which Ouroboros is supporting Titan X. It's buying and burning, itself. So again, like it's all, they all fulfill their own single roles, and they're all helping others. And and that's same thing with Element 280. Like we are 10% of what we buy of all these ecosystem tokens we're burning. Like it's it's helping them. It's when we buy and burn like Flux, we're buying and burning Flux. That means the ROI on their auctions are going up, and that's going to
yeah,
increase participation in their project, which is going to boost the token. And then we're paired with Flux. So by helping Flux, with their flywheel and helping boost their token, we're boosting ourselves. And
yeah,
it's just you can't see that. There's nowhere else in crypto where there's that kind of collaboration going on, where every single one of these projects is supporting the others, even if they're not like directly doing it. They're indirectly doing it just by supporting the Titan X token. Like, how does this go wrong? I'm so bullish.
yeah.
This is again where I'm like, okay, take a step back.
I'm
Like
looking at yeah, but the thing is, you take a step back, you look at the bigger picture, and you get more bullish.
yeah,
That's the thing. I don't think there's many. I don't think there's any huge, big negatives really. I mean,
Mhm.
Ethereum's literally been going down, and at the end of the day, Titan X is leveraged to Ethereum.
I know.
So
We haven't even seen the Ethereum
yeah,
bull run. It's
I
what is that
know.
gonna
And that's like everything that's happened in the last few months has been insane. But we've been held back this whole time and suppressed by Ethereum. So like who knows what's gonna happen then? Plus, there's still only like less than 20,000 people, which is insane, which is
yeah,
absolutely insane. I don't think you
yeah.
can find many projects or anywhere in crypto where you can comfortably say there should be like 5x, 10x the amount of people for the
Mm.
infrastructure that's there. Because they've got the Titan X farms now, which is awesome, or Burrows that's coming out. Like everything is set up to support a huge inflow of users, which I think is going to happen. And obviously, through launching Element 280 now, is just going to benefit from all of that hype and price appreciation upwards.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Titan Farms again, fulfilling that role where they've shown up, and now there's 19 million, I think last I looked, in their smart contracts. That's all liquidity being added to the ecosystem.
Yeah, I
Like
think they
that's
actually have a majority of the liquidity now. I'll just load it. Yes, 76. So it's 21.5 million almost.
still growing. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's supporting everybody. That's allowing these bigger whales to get in and out of Titan X, that may have been scared before, but now like we're showing very strong liquidity in a lot of these pairs. And it's only, as we go up in value, that liquidity amount goes up in value as well. So
yeah, because it's only been like 2 days, I think they've launched it, and they've already got 21 million, which is just insane. But for Element 280, it can't really be put on Titan Farms, right? Because of all the
just because it's a V2, since we're a tax token, we cannot be on V3. V3 breaks on tax tokens. So we're on Uniswap V2, and everything Titan Farms interacts with is designed around V3 pools. So that's the reason we'll never be on there.
Yeah. But what about Helios? Would that ever be added to farms, do you think?
I hope so. It's not like he's saying, I don't like Helios, I'm not listing it. It's just a matter of volume. Once any of these tokens can generate enough daily volume to warrant being in the farms, they will include it. So to me, it's just a matter of time. Again, I know what I'm doing. I can't influence the market like that. It's the open market does what it wants to do. To me, all I can do is continue what I've been doing, just building and adding value to Helios and the Titan X ecosystem. And like the rest of it will fall in line.
Especially with the 369 payout coming. I just can't believe that 180,000 is going to be from that, right? Which is insane. That's like 1/3. That's like 1/3 of the market cap.
Yeah.
That's like Dragon X having 15 million or something coming out on the 369. It's the equivalent.
Right.
And Element 280 coming out as well. That's going to give all the projects coming in and having the ability to do who knows what with them. Like you say, you could stake Blaze. You could, if you get it in now when everything's kind of cheaper, let's say 10x's in the treasury, you could then give that out to all the stakers, and it could be a huge payout.
And forever earning Element 280 tokens as well. Like in the buy and sell tax, there is a small allocation to the Helios treasury, so we will be forever earning Element 280 tokens.
Okay. Do you want to run through how does that work? Is it just when someone sells an NFT, a percentage goes?
If you go to in the tokenomics. So right there, you see like with the 4% buy sell tax, primarily it's going to NFT holders, but there is an allocation to the treasury as well.
Genesis, Helios treasury. Nice. Okay. Yeah. So there'll be a stack of Element 280 slowly building up in there as well.
Yeah, a deflationary token. We'll be earning a deflationary token built on all of the ecosystem.
Which is
you can decide how that's going to work out for us.
I think the way I kind of see it is, so everyone's going to have the NFTs make the most sense. So everyone's going to mint their NFTs. Everyone's going to be holding them. The liquid supply of the Element tokens is going to be very, very low. So theoretically, it's going to be easier to push up and down because the market cap is going to be a lot less, right? And everyone's going to be thinking, okay, I want to hold my NFT because you don't want to be the one to sell it first, and then all the percentages go back to everyone else. So if you're smart, you would want to be holding that, but that means the circulating supply is always going to be really, really low, which is going to be a lot easier to push up or down. And like you said, it's capped after the 28 days. There's no more coming out ever.
Yep. And then again, with the short-term players, they're going to be enticing the NFT holders to continue to mint and hold, because they're paying. That's where I think during the mint phase, the most of the rewards, I mean, there's going to definitely be arbitrage bots, but I think most of the rewards going to be from those short-term players that don't care about the NFT. They're just going to mint the token just to dump on the market into the buy and burn, but they're going to be paying that 16% tax. Yeah. But they don't care if the ROI is 20% and they're making a short-term gain of 4% ROI. Do they care? They're paying 16 to other people? No, they're still making their own money. So,
and you can transfer NFTs between, so you could sell an NFT to someone else, let's say in the future, but there's also the 4% on that.
No. There's zero fees on buying and selling. So you can take it to whatever marketplace you want. OpenSea, we're going to be listed on the Titan Legends marketplace, and where you can buy and sell them for ETH or TitanX. But it's up to the user. You can send it wherever you want.
But that's going to be so interesting because the NFTs is just going to become more and more scarce. Let's say in a year's time, maybe half, or if not more, of the people with NFTs have sold. Those NFTs left are going to become so much more valuable because they have the bigger percentage in all the rewards that come through, and they're backed by the token as well.
Yes. Yeah. Like I cannot wait to. I'm going to be glued to the stats page of Element 280.
Yeah. You should reach out to Mike Dean and try and get him to do one of the premium, because they've done it for Vault, and I think it's really good because everyone's sharing that data. I think it'll be good for Element 280, like everyone's sharing the data to see what's kind of going on, because there's going to be a lot for people to understand, like you said.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we'll definitely have stats on our own website.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, of course, Titan getting stats from Mike Dean is legit. Like the premium Titan Hub account that I have that's what's making me so bullish on the ecosystem over anything else.
Same, definitely. You look at it and you just see, go on.
It's in your face, like the stats. You're like, how can you deny this? Like, you're seeing the graphs. This is going up, this is going down. You're like, how does this fail? I don't know. This is amazing.
Definitely. Like, just looking at there's the main Titan X one. I'll pull it up now. There's a main Titan X one, and it just shows how, we just fall off a cliff with the future mintable coming out.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
I try not to share too much of the data to like entice people to, get their.
I'll just show this. This is all I'm going to show. But as you can see, it just goes straight, literally, to nothing, which is like only a few weeks away. And then there's going to be no Titan X out for this whole period. And then when it becomes profitable again, when more Titan X comes out, it's going to be the 280 first, the 280-day miners that become profitable. So there's going to be that whole extra period of time when nothing's going to be coming out either.
That's a lot. Like, that's taking us well into like halfway through 2025. Like
pretty much the whole bull market. Pretty much.
And and mining is going to come back, and that ETH is going to come, primarily back to these ecosystems. Dragon X is getting that, and what are they doing with it? They're buying Titan X. Helios is going to get that, and what are we doing? Helios is buying Titan X.
And like you said, you've got is it a trillion or is it almost a trillion?
It's not quite there yet. We're at 860 billion.
Imagine how valuable that's going to be. I think you're going to have that share of all Titan X for like forever, you're going to have a
Right.
decent share of all the ETH that comes in, which is
Yeah.
so bullish because that trillion, if it wasn't worth a lot a few months ago, it's worth a lot more now. And in the coming months, it's going to be worth a lot, like a
Yeah.
shit ton.
Yeah, and as Helios grows in value and people come back to mining Helios, same thing. Like that Titan X is going into our treasury as well. We've got several different avenues where we're increasing our Titan X position in the staking pool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Do you worry about, because there's a lot of projects sending Dragon X, do you worry about being diluted heavily through Dragon X being so like dominant, or not really?
no, no. I mean, obviously, I like it is something that I'm not worried. I'm not worried. Like,
Yeah.
uh, especially because like the position we have is going to be a lot easier to maintain than the position that Dragon X has. Like they have, you know, like I don't know. I'm just making it up. It's like 40% or something.
I
I
think it's
haven't
almost 50,
checked.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they, to keep up with that, they have to match every Titan X that gets staked. They have to match half of that to maintain their position. Whereas we have like 3% of the pool, and we only have to match 3% of what's going into that treasury to maintain our position. So it's going to be a lot easier for us to increase our position than it is Dragon X to increase theirs.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm not worried at all. I don't see us going any lower.
I think it will just grow as well, because
Yeah.
when a project launches, was it, I think it might be X, oh, I'm not sure, because there was Shogun that was going to do stakes, right?
Mhm.
I'm not sure if, but there will be a project that you can sacrifice stakes for, and that's going to give Helios, instead of 3%, it can move up to 5, 6%, and that's just going to be even more ETH.
Yeah, yeah. Like going from 3 to 6, that's doubling our position.
Yeah.
You know, like Dragon X can't do that. They would be going from 50 to 100, which they can't do that.
Yeah.
Yes, they do have a majority share, and that's fine because that's going to buying Titan X, so that's supporting Helios as well. Like, so it's not even a big deal. And I don't want our Titan X treasury to be like the end all. You know, like it's hard for people to see the vision because a lot of people are kind of short term. It's hard for them to see. But
Yeah.
when 6 months down the road, when you go to our website and you see that we have 5 different treasuries or more, like then it'll be easier for a user to be like, oh wow, like we're getting ETH from all of these different areas.
Yeah.
That's
Not just ETH either. It will be all projects,
yeah,
everything. Yeah.
right, right. So I'm not worried. You know, it's I see how it's easy to create FUD and feel like, oh well, Dragon X, they own it all. Like just give up, throw the towel, and go home. But like it's not like that. Like
Yeah.
it'll be very easy for us to at least maintain our position, if not increase it.
Definitely. Yeah.
So
And at the moment, it's a huge percentage from, like, compared to the market cap of Helios,
yeah,
which is super bullish. Do you think,
over 100%.
yeah, it's crazy. Do you think there's ever a possibility of launching like a similar project to Dragon X on top of Helios, or would you not want to dilute your stakers?
It has to be done right. It has to be
Okay.
done right. Um, and that's one thing to note is we added a whitelist function in our staking pool. So smart contracts by default cannot enter our staking pool. So if somebody were to build a Dragon X and launch it on Helios, it wouldn't work because they would revert their stakes.
Okay.
Us as a DAO will have to vote and say, hey, this project wants to use our staking pool. Do we want that to happen? And if we say yes, we do, then we will we will whitelist that smart contract and then allow them to do it.
Okay.
So by doing that, we're not limiting it. Like if there's a project that comes out that supports us and wants to use the staking payouts, they're welcome to do that. They just have to get the approval of the HLX community first.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so
That
I
makes sense.
can, yeah. So I can see that happening. It just needs to benefit Helios in another way, because if they're just going to dilute our staking payouts and have no other benefits, then I don't see how that's going to help. But if,
Yeah.
say, they're buying Helios off the market and staking it, then maybe we're okay with that, because now you're pumping our token. Yeah, you're taking over the staking pool, but you're also injecting more Titan-X into the staking pool, because the ROIs from mining is happening. Like there's different ways that I could see it working out for us, allowing smart contracts to do it. It just has to be designed correctly to
In the right way.
benefit us primarily, and not whatever this future project is. So
definitely.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, yeah, I think you've given everyone a lot to think about on this stream. It has been really, really awesome. You've made me so bullish on Element 280 now, because I did get the whole concept, but now thinking it over and just speaking to you about it, it's very bullish. And I'll make loads of clips of the stream and share this out to everyone. But I think we've had over 100 viewers for individuals that have come in, which is really good. But yeah,
Nice.
Thanks so much for coming onto the stream, dude. I really appreciate it. And I wish you all the best for the launch of Element 280.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I feel like every person I've done a stream with, they saying that same thing you say, or they're like, yeah, I thought I understood it, but then like the light bulb really came on and you're like, this is amazing. Like,
I've definitely had a light bulb moment throughout this stream.
Yeah.
I'm very, very bullish. Yeah. Because there's just a lot of angles to think about and a lot of things that could happen, because there's so many different moving parts, but I think overall it's going to be bullish.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely. So next time we talk, we can kind of go over stats and
definitely, and
see
talk
it in
about
action.
maybe the V2, what's going to be happening there. We'll see.
Yeah. After launch, I want to get through launch first and get that going, and then we can start talking about what's coming down the pipeline.
Yeah. But it's going to be a day. How many hours is it left now? Let me just check. Launch is going to be in 1 day and 20 hours. So everyone watching, remember, not long now. So everyone pay attention. But there's no like decrease in the ratio, is it? Throughout the 28 days, anyone can come in for the same. Yeah, it's 1 for 1 always. So there's not really a huge rush. Take your own time. You can kind of see what happens in the launch. And
as far as the tokens go, that's true. But as far as the NFTs go, rewards are going to be getting distributed throughout this time. So if you mint on day 28, you can do that, but you're not eligible for any of those rewards that have been going on previously.
Okay. So there is urgency, definitely, because especially around launch, when everything's going crazy, like you say, people buying and selling all the time. If you have an NFT before everyone else, you're going to be benefiting from all.
Right. Yeah, because that first so we're going to do 24 hours after the LPs are created. We will do a distribution there. So if you're in the first 24 hours, there's going to be that snapshot sent and rewards distributed. And then after that, it goes to weekly. So as long as you're minting in within that week, you're going to be available to get those rewards. But we all have seen like day one participation on a lot of these projects. There's tons of volume.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting
always goes crazy.
Yeah, tons of activity. So we do want to reward those day one people by like doing that 24-hour, payout, and then switching over to the weekly payouts. So
and that's just going to be claimable at the end of what day would that be claimable on for the weekly?
Any of the payouts are claimable immediately. So the second, so like after that 24-hour period and the rewards get distributed, users can claim that immediately.
Instantly.
Yep.
Awesome. Damn, a lot to think about. Thanks again for coming on. I really appreciate it, and good luck with the launch.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. I would like to come back. It was a good chat.
Yeah, it definitely was. All right. Cheers, guys.
See ya.